we're still really enjoying our little Christmas break, I guess you would call it. It's odd to say that because this year Matt, of course, is not working. So it's like, why does this still feel like we're on vacation time? But I guess just because it's what we're always used to, kind of taking a break this time of the year and trying to take it easy. Of course, spending a lot more time with family and friends and getting to enjoy that. So today I'm going to make some breakfast, but I'm pretty late making it. It's after 9 o'clock, so I got up with the intentions to make it quicker than that. But then I was thinking about I'm going to make some little hand pies. I was thinking about what I wanted to put in them, and I realized I had some apples that really needed to be used. So I cut those up, and I've had them cooking on the stove, so I've got me some fruit there, just sweetened with sugar. I don't put any cinnamon in it, but you sure could if you wanted to. Anyway, so I've got that. And now the little recipe that I'm going to use couldn't be easier. It's actually just my cream biscuit recipe. That's it. Whipping cream and self-rising flour. I like White Lily, but whatever flour you like. And that's what I make my biscuits out of. Well, I make that same recipe and just roll out the dough and then make the little pies. I will tell you a funny story though about them. When I was growing up, Granny made them, but we called them fried pies. And we loved them, all of us did. She only used fruit, apples. That's the only thing that she would use in hers. And after I was grown and married, and one day I was thinking I wanted one of those, it just seemed like it just hit the spot, you know. That's really what I wanted. And then I got to thinking about it, and I thought, and I called Granny, and she told me how she made them. And she did not use the recipe that I'm using as far as the whipping cream and the self-rising. She used more of just her biscuit recipe where she used lard and milk. Anyway, and she's telling me, and I'm writing it down, and I thought, wait a minute, these are not fried. We bake them. And I said, Granny, why do you call them fried pies? And she said, well, it's because when I was growing up, Mama and Aunt Susie, they made fried pies. And then after I was married, she said Aunt Susie made the best fried pies. I think it was Aunt Susie. I may be telling that part wrong. Anyway, but I tried to make them, and I could never get mine to turn out. They either burned in the grease or they were raw. You know, either one. I couldn't get them right. Anyway, she said, so I just started making them and baking them. And I guess I just kept calling them fried pies, even though they wasn't fried pies. Anyway, so this is the way Granny makes hers. She bakes them in the oven. I do have a video about fried pies, though. We really love those, and I'll link to that if you'd like to see it. That recipe for the hand pies I'm going to do today, which is really just simple, and you don't really need the cookbook, but it is in mine and Jim's cookbook, Celebrating Southern Appalachian Food. And that biscuit recipe's in there too. So to go with these, sometimes I do this for a quick, easy breakfast just because it makes it different than just biscuits and gravy, and whether we've got sausage or bacon or whatever. So I'm just going to make up some of these. I'm going to put them into bake. We've got some leftover ham from Christmas. I knew when my Christmas video, if you watched it, and I was naming all the stuff people brought, and I said, I'm sure I forgot something. Well, I didn't say that my sister-in-law Kim also brought a ham. Bless her heart. Since Miss Cindy's been gone, she brought a ham for Thanksgiving and a ham for Christmas because, see, Miss Cindy always brought the ham. That makes me cry to think about it anyway. So thanks to Kim, we had wonderful ham. So I've got what's left over. I'm just going to warm it up on top of the stove, and then I'm going to make some fried eggs, and that's going to be it. Now, as far as my pies, what I'm going to put in them, I do have the fruit that I made, and then I like to put, and I can't remember where I first learned about this. I think it was online. People just telling me when I would talk about fried pies or baked hand pies, and they said that their mother, grandmother, whoever it was, would use, sometimes they would fill them with just butter and sugar, which now I realize I don't have no sugar, and cocoa. Now, they didn't mix it together. They didn't make it into any kind of paste. They just put all that, a little bit of sugar, a little bit of cocoa, and a little bit of butter, and then shaped the pies and then either fried them, you know, if you were frying them, and that's probably what they did, or if you're baking them like I am today. Now, because as you might imagine, because you're not mixing that up, you're not cooking it, you're not doing anything, it kind of leaves a grittiness to it, but the sugar doesn't always fully dissolve, so it's a different texture. So you may or may not like that, but I like it a lot. So I'm going to do a few of those, and then I have some of my blueberry preserves that me and Corey made, not this summer, but last summer, summer before. I didn't get to hardly put up anything this summer between Miss Cindy and Granny. Smells so good though. But since they're just whole, it's more like blueberry jam, so those will be really good. So I'm just going to make a bunch of all of them, and then we won't eat them all for breakfast this morning, but we'll eat them for sure in the coming days. So first I'm just going to, I've got me my flour in my bowl there. I'm about out of whipping cream in that, I knew. It's not going to be enough. And if I have to make up some more, I will. If I need more to make sure that I do all the varieties I'm trying to do. I also have a video about making biscuits and another way that I use this recipe, and in fact in that video I'm also making the hand pies, but I will link to that so you can see. I also use this little simple recipe to make cheese biscuits that are really good and really easy, and sometimes I make them like for thinking of having a savory meal, supper time or something, because they're easy. You just drop them out, so it's really quite easy to whip up. Let me make me some room here. I guess I'll do the fruit ones first. Need some flour. I don't know if you can see what I'm doing or not. Let me see if Corey can come check for us. Corey? Okay, thank you, Corey. That helped a little bit, I think. So you can definitely, if you want these to be really neat, you could get your little saucer or something else and make sure that every one was exactly perfectly cut out into a circle and crimp them and make them really pretty. And I may do that like in that other video, but on a regular day I don't ever do that. I just, whatever shape they turn out is okay with me, as far as being, if some's this big and some's a little bigger, it's okay. I'm just going to roll out. And I've got way too much here, so it's just one of those things that, I mean, of course you should want it to look nice, but if it doesn't, should have got me a knife. If it doesn't, it's still going to work out okay. I mean, it's still going to taste okay. It may not look exactly perfect. This, see, I'm going to get me a spoon and get me some more fruit. Apple probably is my favorite, just because that's what I grew up on. And then I just crimp them down and then cut any excess off that since I'm not doing them in a perfect circle. I like the edges though, and and you can use a fork to like go around and crimp them, and that does make them a little bit prettier. And then I've got my pan greased here, and then you want to poke a hole or two in the top of it just to let some of the steam escape, and then just put it over on the pan. I like for when the juices run out and then they caramelize on the crispiness of the edges. That's my favorite part. It's all tastes good, but those are just those are my favorite parts. So as you can see, this one's nowhere near a circle. It's just, I'm just going to go for it though and try to make it work. And like I said, it always does. They're not all uniform. But if you want them uniform, that's what Granny used to do. Is she would use a little saucer or something as she rolled them out, and then trimmed around them. And you know, some people may think that's easier to do it that way too. So I'll continue on and do my fruit ones, and then when I get to one of the others, maybe I'll change the position of the camera so you can see up close. Okay, I got the first ones in. I did the whole little jar of blueberries, and of course I used all the fruit. Now I'm gonna have to get me some flour out. I put way too much cream in what I was trying to do, so I know I'm not gonna probably make all of these, but I have company coming over tonight, so I could go ahead and make me a few little biscuits. I could make more pies, or I could save the dough and make some cheese biscuits to go with what we're gonna have for supper. So I'll have to decide about that. Anyway, so this is just a close-up. Like I'm saying, if you wanted to, you know, use a saucer or some other thing to make sure each one was round. And they also make, I forgot about that, they make little crimper things that cut it out exactly like a circle. So you can also get those for fried pies or any kind of hand pies like this. But as you can see, I just make it. Doesn't matter to me as much what they look like. So now this is going to be the weird cocoa one. So I'm going to put some, I don't know if I should put 2 things of butter, but I guess I will. And it's no rhyme or reason. Little cocoa. I need another spoon for my sugar, or maybe I'll just go for it with this one. And some sugar. And then just cover it up. And then I just trim the edges. And I'm not picky about it. You can be picky. You can fold that, you know, sometimes I just do this and crimp like this, and that makes a pretty little edge if you don't want to do it any other way. Or you can dip the tines of your fork and, you know, make some little lines like that. Woo, I think I stuck into the butter, and that's it. And of course, you know, like I said, if you want to take the pains to make them really beautiful, you can do that too. Make them all uniform. Not that that's not pretty. It is. It's just more rustic. Got my dough a little wet because I put in too much. Now, let's see, some butter. I may have to get Corey to come get me some more butter. Uh-oh, sticking to the mat. Got a whole thing sticking on this one. I'll not be able to get it up. Oh yeah. Definitely put down some more flour. I really like this mat. I can leave the link below. I didn't even know anything like this existed. Now, when I was young, growing up, Granny had was from Tupperware, had a sheet that you put out like this, and I still have it. She gave it to me because she hated to use it because the ends would curl up, so you had to sit stuff on the edges to keep it down. And it also come with like a rolling pin that was hollow, and it screwed off on one end, and you're supposed to put ice in there, and then it would make your dough, you know, roll out better or whatever. I don't know, probably thinking about like pie crust instead of something like this. Anyway, I never used the rolling pin, but I used to use that thing, and it's just because it wouldn't stay down was just a pain. And then a couple of years ago, a friend told me about this. Said she used it. She said, I practically use it every day. Every time I make bread, it's so handy, it's so easy. And I thought, well, I should at least try it. And she was right. It is handy. It washes up easy. And I'm glad she told me about it because I didn't even know anything like that existed. You get in the habit of always just doing things like you always have, and then when you find out something new like that, you're like, well, that's awful handy. How did I not know about that? I'm sure they've made them for years. I just didn't know. I wonder if I can get I could squeeze these over. I could also send some of these home with Corey and Austin. So I'm at least going to make this whole pan. And maybe I'll figure out what to do with the rest. So when it comes to baking them, I've got those others in there, and I bake them at 400 degrees. And usually it just kind of depends on the size and the thickness of your dough. If you know how thick you roll it out, or how I roll mine pretty thin. But anyway, I start looking at them like I've set my timer for 15 minutes. Usually it takes between 15 and 20 minutes. Again, depending on how big or how you roll yours out. If you roll yours out thicker than I do, I go pretty thin. And that one's so big, I'm going to go ahead and I'll just save it over there. I'll be ahead. I just got the first ones out of the oven. You can see how great they turned out. These, my blueberry ones, kind of leaked out in places, but they'll still be delicious. They'll have those little crispy edges where that juice is just cooked into it. Those will be so good. And then the fruit ones turned out good too. You could put, if you wanted to, you could put like powdered sugar. You could put, you know, mix up some powdered sugar and milk and drizzle over it. You could put anything you wanted to on top of them, but we just eat them like this, just plain. I'm going to put them out on a rack though so they can continue to cool, and hopefully they'll stay crispy. So I'm going to make Matt taste one for you, and make Corey taste one too probably. So these are there's 3 blueberry, there's fruit or apple, and then the chocolate. I about let the chocolate ones burn, so they're a little bit browner, but I don't know which one you want. These have been cooling longer, so one of all of them. The thing about pies like this is that when they first come out of the oven, that the inside is so hot, you have to be careful, it'll burn you. But we're gonna make Matt taste one before he goes and eats the rest of his stuff. See, I don't think you got no fruit on that one. That bite, you gotta get some of all of it.
Don't burn yourself.
Well, these have been cooling a little bit, so maybe. That do?
Very good. Very good.
All right, you're free to go. You're dismissed, as Katie used to say at morning song. She'd say, "Okay, you're dismissed now. If you want to go on and eat, and we'll get. Or you want to taste another one?
No, I'm just thinking about getting another one.
Okay, well, you want to taste a blueberry, or you want another apple one?
I'm just trying to. Yeah, I want a blueberry one. I'm trying to cut down on the trips back in here.
Oh, okay.
Get it all to start with.
Get you. We'll have to.
That's gonna fall apart.
Well, here I gotta. I'll make you taste this one too, though. Taste it. The blueberry ones got soupier because of the sugar in they were just blueberry jam. Good?
Oh yeah.
Which one do you think's better? Hard to say.
I like that blueberry and awful good, and I'm not a blueberry guy much, but I like them like that.
Well, good. There's 2 more of them. You can stake them out for yourself.
Well, she can have whatever she wants.
Yeah.
I'll have to try a chocolate one too.
Okay, yeah. You can have that for dessert.
Thank you, dear.
You're welcome. All right, Katie. Corey, here's yours. Katie's not, she's had to go on an errand, so she's not here. When she gets back, she can enjoy it. And Austin has gone fishing. He's still getting to enjoy his Christmas holiday too, but he's gone fishing. He'll probably come by here though, so he can enjoy some when he gets here.
He'll probably want a chocolate one.
Yeah, okay. Which one you want to try?
I want blueberry.
You want blueberry? You want to taste and see what you think?
Yeah.
Then I'll taste the chocolate.
I really only like chocolate if it's in the candy bar.
Well, this is the kind of strange chocolate that's still gritty, so you might not like it anyway.
Ooh.
Good?
Oh, yeah.
Remember the day we canned them? Those were, that's our blueberries. This summer we didn't get to do any, but from the year before.
I want to taste an apple, too.
Oh, okay, you can have that.
I want like half and half.
We'll do half and half, and that's the thing, when I make these, I leave them sitting out like this, and through the day people just come in and eat, and whoever happens to be over. And so lots of times you'll find one that's broken half or something. You see somebody just wanted half of one, like Corey's saying.
I can't eat this much chuck right now.
Well, you can save that one for later. Those can
Don't
be
do half and half.
Corey's little halves for later. We can put over in the corner. Corey's corner there.
Yeah.
I think the fruit ones, I've not tasted one, but be especially good because I usually use like applesauce that I've canned or like my preserved apples, apple preserves. But this, when you have fresh, it just somehow takes it up a notch. Those others are good, but
I think I might like the apple better. I
cooked-
thought I would like the blueberry better.
I
though.
cooked the apple this morning, so that just gives it a brightness, I think, from fresh apples. Not that the apple preserves are not good. That's what I usually use, but I knew I had about 4 apples that was going to go bad on me.
I mean, I like them both though.
Okay.
Good.
All right, we can go.
Right,
you
I'm
can
out.
go eat too. Now let me try one of the chocolate ones, which are still hot.
Thanks, Mom.
You're welcome. I've not made my egg yet. I was trying to make hers, so I'll make me one.
These eggs?
No, go ahead. But I'm gonna try one of the chocolate ones. I don't know if you can see in there, but it's kind of, like I said, a strange chocolate because you're not whipping it up together. Got some gritty sugar. If you're a chocolate fan, they're just so good. Now there are all kinds of recipes out there you can find for fried pie fillings or fillings for hand pies where you do kind of cook the chocolate or whatever first, but this is just so easy and so good. If you like chocolate gravy, this will be right up your alley. Good, really good. I'll take just a bite of Corey's so I can see about the apple. Apple's really good. The apple one, of course, to me tastes like home because that's the ones that Granny always made. And her and Pap called apples fruit. She'd just say, I'm going to make some fruit fried pies, even though they wasn't fried. So that one's really good. It may be better than a chocolate, but I like the chocolate. Let me try Corey's blueberry one that she left. The blueberry's really good too. And like Matt, I am a blueberry fan. My favorite fruits are watermelon, blueberries, and then I guess apples. Really good. All of them really good. So I hope you enjoyed seeing how easy they are to make, spending time with us on this after Christmas day when we're still in the holiday spirit. I'm always glad when you stop by to help us celebrate Appalachia. And if you try this really easy recipe, you can see, I mean, the possibilities of what you could put in them is just endless. Now, a lot of people make savory ones, so you might put, you know, some ham and cheese or whatever instead of just frying up the ham, warming it up like I did for us this morning. It's just endless possibilities for you to think about. But I hope you enjoyed seeing 3 of our favorite ways to make them.